I'm in a place where I like to give people their flowers, man.
Yeah.
I like to give people their respect. Anytime you hear me on the organ, I'm continuing the legacy of Ivan Powell, of my dad, Hubert Powell, of the living legacy of Derek Jackson. You know,
Derek Jackson.
You know, some of these is like the guys that, you know, anytime you hear me talking about me coming up as a musician, I can't not talk about me loving organ and without mentioning Cory Henry.
Come on.
I can't not talk about my upbringing. I don't understand why these musicians these days have such a hard time giving people their accolades, man. My dad, I'll never forget it. Had to be about 1991 or so. Yeah. And, you know, this lady kept calling my dad, asking, I want to bring my son. You know, we tried to get him on Oprah, and, you know, they tried to get him on the Today Show. And, you know, they said he doesn't meet the criteria, you know, but my son is a prodigy. And I want to get him to your church. I look up to you. You're amazing. We listen to you. We listen to your music. And my dad was like, oh, what's his name? His name is Cory Henry. Wow. He's 4 years old, or 3. I think he was 3 at the time. Wow. And he was like, oh yeah. My dad was like, okay, yeah, bring him. We got a concert going on. We had a concert. I don't even know, it was a Friday night, good old night, you know, them 90s Friday night concert. Some choirs is up there singing. I don't even know what we had, but it was like a Friday night, and Cory and his late mother, she brought him to the church, and I never forget, my dad stood me on his, you know, he had like his preacher seats in the pulpit. We had one of them old school churches with the pulpit and the podium, the choir stand up there. Old Kojic church. You know, I got a picture. I'll show you. But he sat me. He was sitting in his seat. He had a seat like that. He stood me on the coffee table, his little drink table. He said, "Kevin, watch this." And he just picked me up and he stood me there. And I'm like, "What?" And they said, "Give it up for Cory Henry." And I seen this little kid, because I'm older than Cory. Me and Cory was just joking about this because I was calling him my hero. Yeah. I said, even though I'm older than you. Yeah. We were literally just joking about this like 2 days ago.
That's crazy.
At NAMM. And he stood me on there, and I seen this little kid with a part in his hair get on the organ. Yeah. And he just got on the organ and started blazing. Playing every key. He was only like 4 years old. And I think I was 5 or 6. Yeah. And I didn't know nothing about no child prodigies. Yeah. I just said to my dad, I was like, well, I want to play the organ too. Yeah. You know, and I knew I loved the organ. I knew, because my Uncle Ivan, he was just a smooth cat. Like Uncle Ivan, he always had the suits on, and he always had the dope shoes, and, you know, the ladies loved him. Yeah. You know? So growing up, I just always was like, man, he cool, man. How he play the organ like that? And then my dad get on. Yeah. So now my hero, my natural hero, gets on the organ. He's killing it. He's cool. He had the cool walk. Yeah. So I just always loved the organ. But when I saw Cory, I was like, nah, I got to play. Like, he can't be my age playing like this. I should be able to do this. I didn't know that, you know, he was a child prodigy. But see, even to that point, but even to that point, to your point, I told somebody this like a couple of weeks ago. We was talking about this same thing about us in, especially the black church. The black churches, black church musicians. Right. If you want to keep it a buck, just about all of us, if you started playing, most of us started playing at a young age, 5, 6 to 10, we were prodigies. Yeah. We just didn't know it. We didn't know it.
Because it was normalized. Like it was normalized. It was normal. If you was like
our people. Because of our background, because of our lineage, because of our heritage, because of, you know, where we come from, where we derive from. Yeah. We're people who were born, you know, music and
entertainment,
rhythm, and all that stuff is in our bones. Like it's literally in our DNA, and a lot of us don't know it.
Don't understand it.
And a lot of people who don't know about our heritage and our history don't understand it.
Yeah. But it's like you said, we don't understand it. Like with 5, 6, 7, 8, we would. I know cats that was on the drums with pacifiers in their mouth that played a song and then went and got their diaper changed.
No, I just saw a video. I just shared literally,
and they still doing it.
I just shared a video on Facebook. This, I don't even know who the little baby was, but he was in his diapers, and he was like,
they be
and he was playing drums, and I'm like, oh my, he got it already.
Bro, like
he's literally in a diaper playing shout music.
Bro, But that environment fosters all that. But see, it's normalized to us. But keep it. I'm just keeping it like the general facts.
I never thought about it that way though.
But when you go over to the other side, when you go over to like our Caucasian counterparts and stuff like that, they look at us as that. I was at NAMM. This was several years ago, and I was talking with one of my Caucasian brothers, and we were just talking about the black church, and they came up in our conversation. We started talking, and he asked me, he said, "So when did you start playing?" I was like, I had to be about 8 or 9 years old, somewhere around there when I got into it. To me, I'm a late bloomer.
Right.
You just started at 8. You just started playing keys at 8, 9. You're a late bloomer. Like you just got started. Oh man, you behind. You got some catching up to do.
Right.
And so I started at 8 or 9 or whatever. He's like, so when did you start like playing like for your church? Like actually playing? 6, 7 months after that, I was playing for the youth choir. Maybe 2 years after that, by the time I was 10, I was like literally the musician for the church, the music, as we called it, the minister of music, as they called it back then. I was the minister of music by that time.
The worship pastor.
And so he says, so you were playing like I was playing like the whole service. He's like, and I was like offering all of that stuff. And he says, he said, so you were a prodigy. I said,
we never looked at it.
We never looked at it like that.
I was playing, I remember.
But to them, that's what we are.
And I never thought about that because when I was, even when I, of course, saw Cory, I was about 5 or 6, I was already playing drums.
Yeah.
And so I was doing like concerts, like they would make me do drum solos in like elementary school.
Yeah.
And I didn't think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And they were like going crazy. And I'm like, what?
Yeah. This is normal.
Drum, like, y'all can't do this?
This is Sunday.
I didn't know. Like, I really didn't know because I was,
we do this stuff for offering. What are you talking about?
Bro.
This is
it was my
offering.
thing. When I was a kid, I played for the kids choir.
Yeah.
That was my thing.
We called ours the
Sunday,
Angel Choir.
Yeah, like this, or like in Kojic, they called it the Sunshine Band.
Sunshine Band. Yeah, Baptist, it was the Angel Choir.
The Angel Choir, yeah. So like, when I got of a certain age, my dad told Billy Doobie, hey, Kevin's playing for he's playing for the CF.
It's the Hubert Powell voice for me,
choir.
Bro.
So the Children's for Christ choir is what I used to play for.
Yeah.
Every Sunday, I get on the drums when they sing.
Yeah.
And so it was just normal to me. So when they had me playing, I'm in elementary school and I get on the drums, I set the drums up and I do my thing. Yeah. I didn't know it was, a big
the
deal.
Outside world. If you had taken any of and I told Jan, me and Jan was talking about this a few, whenever. I'm always talking to somebody about something.
Right.
But we was talking a while back and I said, the least of us. I'm talking even the cats that we clown for transposing and all of that stuff. The least of us are better than some of the best of them out there.
On our worst day,
the bass player that's at in the back country woods playing bass for the Country Baptist Church that's got like 30 members could play circles probably behind some of the touring bass players that's on these tours playing for some of these secular, as we would call secular artists.
Absolutely.
Like if you pull up at any church, black church specifically, is the people that we clown. If they went into the secular realm with that style, would be celebrated. Here's a scary turn. Yeah,
that's a true statement. But you know what else is a scarier true statement is the fact that while they have more talent, they have less discipline.
Yes,
I feel like that's where the churches that we're talking about, the circle that we're talking about, that's where it kind of went wrong.
Yeah.
In a lot of places. It's like, y'all should be on these gigs. And I tell cats that now. Back home, they'll tell you. I get after these cats. I got older now. I consider myself, they be calling me onk and stuff. Y'all gonna onk me to death. And y'all ain't gonna like my responses sometimes.
When you become you
gotta like now when I start acting like
you start unking.
don't try and shut me out because y'all yo, show me something. All right, cool, bet.
Yeah.
I have to tell some of them the reason why some of them other cats is gonna get the gig because they do what's supposed to be done. Some of these guys that are on these gigs, they really can't play.
Yeah, yeah.
But they're literally play what's supposed to be played.
Yeah, I can get what
you can't play, but you play what's supposed to be played.
Yeah.
And if you play what's supposed to be played, nobody a lot of times will never even know how much you can't play.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's the guys that got all the talent that don't know how to do, that don't know when the term less is more should be the go-to thing.
So you think it's culture? You think it's just the culture? Speaking of like kind of into that area, do you think it's the culture? And I call for lack of a term, I'll call it shed culture. Do you think it's the shed culture that has, in a sense, kind of ruined that thing? Because we're, as musicians, it's our talent and our skills, because of our DNA, because of our propitiation. I know I just messed that whole word up. Edit that out, Rob. Because of our way of our ability to transmute our skill set quickly to each other's. Okay. We know we can like when we get together and shed. The shed is like that transmuting of skills, that translating of skills. Somebody else is on drums and you pick up off of that by osmosis, just by being in the room. You pick up on the chords, you pick up on that from being around. And so the theory goes out the window, the sight reading, all the reading music, all of those things become null and effect, unimportant, because you can sit in the room with somebody and like kind of pick up with what they're doing and kind of transmute. So you think, and then because of that, it also the shared culture creates like almost like competition type vibe. Everybody's trying to outplay each other. Everybody's trying to outshine. Everybody's trying to do the next thing that gets the ooze, that turns the heads. Right. Do you think that shared culture has kind of bolstered that, so to speak, in our community? So it puts every time you see somebody out here that's trying to play something, they're trying to. The discipline goes out the window because they're trying to go for the wow factor.
Well, it has a lot to do with their purpose of shedding. Okay, I think, and Doobie has said this even in other times, in past times. And my brother Billy too. Yeah, you know, I think a lot of times, and a lot of drummers who have actually shed with Billy, knows that Billy is like, you know. And I'll talk about Billy real quick. He's one of those drummers. He's more concerned about what you're going to do when you get that call. Yeah. He's more concerned because some people have gotten those calls and they've ruined them. Yeah. They blew it. Yeah. Because they thought those people wanted to hear what they've been shedding and not what they've been learning. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you can shed and not learn nothing.
But see, you guys have the benefit of the shed being more like concise and direct. And it's structured. I mean, we sat in the last shed that we did, and I watched Sput basically give a master class, on just how to just that he just laid it out so eloquently. Right. And he didn't say 2 or 3 words, but what he said made sense in the moment, and it helped the craft and the overall function of when somebody got pointed to, they knew what to do, and it was more structured there, and it was just the way that it's built versus some of the sheds that I've been to outside of you guys. It's a little bit less structured, and it's more about the showboat. It's more about the playing. It's more about the shine. That's why I said the purpose. Y'all's purpose has been concise, but general purpose of shedding, purpose of connecting.
About being ready for some areas of the country, and I ain't gonna name them because I don't want nobody to get mad at me. But in some areas of the country, they shed to show you up.
I'm excited to reveal something game-changing for us and for you as producers and musicians. I want to introduce to you Peculiar Sounds version 2. We've introduced standalone mode, allowing you to use it independently from any DAW. You can now blend up to 2 sounds to create rich and complex textures. We added in 2 brand new effects, the Lo-Fizer and the Mod Filter. The Lo-Fizer gives you instant lo-fi vibes with just a button, while the Mod Filter adds dynamic movement and flow to any sound you apply to. And we also added the innovative new MIDI browser that provides you with hundreds of chord progressions, melodies, and drum loop MIDI files that you can drag straight into your DAW. And as a bonus, V2 now includes Sounds Off the Block expansion for totally free, bringing the total to over 400 patches. So as you can see, Peculiar Sounds V2 is not just an update, it's a revolutionary new plugin. So make sure you check the website right now and you can get your hands on this game-changing plugin. Yo, thank you for watching that exclusive clip from the Hangout podcast. We drop these on the channel on Wednesdays, and we appreciate you guys for taking out the time and watching this. If you're interested in seeing more of these exclusive interviews that we have, make sure you check out the playlist over here. If you're interested in taking your production, mixing, or whatever to the next level, make sure you hit the links down below in the description. All right, we'll talk to you guys on the next one. I'm out. Holla at your boy.